The latest product from Ultraleap is the Leap Motion 2. The other two products that have been released since the original, the IR170 and the 3DI, were never really meant for widespread consumer use. In this video, I'll be going over the Leap Motion 2, how it compares to the other Ultraleap devices, and if VTubers should upgrade. The first thing that sticks out about the Leap Motion 2 is how small it is. Ultraleap claims that it's 30% smaller than the original, and I'd say that's about right. However, if we look at the stats, there's been a considerable upgrade to both field of view and tracking range from the original. While the field of view is 10 degrees less than the IR170 and the 3DI, the tracking range is much greater. Both of those devices had a 75 centimeter tracking range, where the Leap 2 has 110 centimeters. In terms of output, it's ditched the USB-C monstrosity that the original and the IR170 has, and gone with a USB-C port. But the hardware is not the only thing that's been upgraded. I was on the latest version of the software, 5.5.3, but they released a new version to go with the Leap Motion 2, version 5.13.2. The new software will warn you if you're not plugged into a USB 3 port, or if the device is a USB hub or a low-power port. I had one hell of a time, since every single port I had plugged this thing into gave me this warning. Turns out that my motherboard BIOS was way out of date. So if you're running into this issue, maybe upgrade your BIOS. The other issue that I had is that I had bought this really long USB to USB-C cable, and it only had USB 2 speeds. Unlike other Ultraleap products that will just have degraded performance on USB 2, the Leap Motion 2 requires a USB 3. So if you're going to get an extender or a longer cable, make sure it has USB 3 speeds. I'd love to go on a huge rant about how we're living in a USB hellscape because there's no visual way to determine the speed of a cord other than just plugging it in, but I'll save that for another day. For a very long time, I've been wearing Ultraleap products on my chest due to wanting to have good hand tracking while I'm moving around because I use full body tracking. I published a new design to Thingiverse to fit the same Amazon Basics chest mount that I've been using for years. Please feel free to download and print it yourself, a link will be in the description. Although I gotta say, I do prefer the stability that the screw on the 3DI provides, as opposed to just sliding it in. While chest tracking has been really good to me, I have wondered if the extended tracking range would make putting the device on top of the screen viable. However, even with the extra range, going from the top of the monitor on all modes didn't track well. Stick with chest mounted if that's what you're currently using. Generally, I've been pretty impressed with the performance. The FOV is less, but I think the trade-off of having a smaller package is generally worth it. I think the biggest upgrade for me is how quickly the new model recognizes my hands. I feel like with older ones, I'd have to make sure it was tracking, then I would do what I would want it to do. I am skeptical a little bit about how much of this is the new device versus me just updating the software and fixing my USB latency problems. So the Leap Motion 2 is going for $139 at the time of this recording. And the only place where you can buy the original is going for exactly the same price. Unfortunately, older Leap Motions are no longer being produced and getting harder and harder to find. So, if you're looking to get a new device, this is pretty much going to be your only option. But the big question is, if you have a Leap Motion 1 or other Ultraleap device, should you upgrade? Now, before you go and drop a lot of money, I would try to upgrade the software to the latest and make sure that you don't have any error messages. As painful as it is, maybe trying different USB ports or getting a new cable might be a good solution for you. Other than that, in my mind, yeah, the Leap Motion 2 is definitively better than all of the other products that I've been doing and will be my new daily driver. Well, if you'd like to see it in use, maybe stop by my stream. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Bye!